Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to the next part of my Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play. Now, I mentioned in the last part that my next video would probably be me tanking or DPSing a dungeon, but I realized that there was a big thing that I was missing, and that was leveling a second class without your main story quest. I don't know how I didn't think about that, but I want to make a video that at least briefly shows you what the experience is going to be like. Now keep in mind, since we're only doing the first few levels, it's going to look a lot faster. In the later levels, it's going to come down to a lot of dungeons, fates, and leaves. But the lower levels is at least a good place to start, to show what it's like on a certain degree. So in order to start leveling this, I unlocked my Gladiator, which I already showed you guys how to do that in the previous video. I accepted my quests from the Gladiator Guild, and I'm doing the first one right now. Now, the big thing about leveling your second class in this game is, A, it's going to burn all of your rested XP in a matter of minutes. So, all that rested XP that we had prepared for our Conjurer, it's going away this video. Trust me, it's going away. So the first thing you're really going to want to do is, again, grab your first quest for your for the guild. And now you have a choice. You can do all of the little quests in the town like you did on your first class. I am personally not a fan of doing that. I find it to be a lot of wasted time, and you really don't gain much from it your second time around. Now, if you see a quest, you want to check out the reward, see if it's something useful to you, and if it is useful, then by all means go out of your way and do it. Of course, you can always use the gil, you can always use any shards that they give you for crafting, or any other little items like potions and ethers, but in general, I like to avoid them. That is just me on a personal level. Now, I'm already level 3 because I had rested XP, but gear-wise, you don't need to worry as much on your second character because you don't have to worry about being able to do those first few quests, really, for the main story where they put you against some tougher opponents. So, with my rested XP, with my bonus on my helm to, the first 10 levels, I already hit level 3. Now, one thing, again, that you're going to want to take a look at when leveling your second class, especially considering Conjurer was my first class, is my cross-class abilities. I touched upon this in an earlier video, and I can go with Cure, I can go with Protect, or I can go with Raise. I'm going to go with Cure because I feel like if I ever find myself in a situation where I'm doing a Fate and I really need, to self-sustain, that it's better for me. Now I'm going to start killing more enemies. I have some cooldowns actually because I just changed my, because I just equipped a few new abilities. I don't have as many, my abilities are on cooldown. Whenever you change your abilities like that with the cross-class list, it'll put most of them on cooldown. Let me see if anybody's down here fighting this thing. It's almost dead. I'm not going to be able to make it. That's a big thing you want to be doing, is as many fates as possible. You want to burn through your hunting log. You want to look at your challenge log, see if there's anything you can do. Challenge logs are better used on higher level classes, but sometimes you just, it just doesn't line up. They'll warn you just before you're about to meet the requirements for it, so if you want to get it on a higher level class, you're perfectly capable. And if in this video that ends up happening, then I'll switch over, quickly get the challenge log bonus on my Conjurer, and then switch back. Now, unfortunately, our rested XP is gonna go, it's gonna go down the drain here. There's not much we can really do about that. I mean, you get rested XP at a pretty decent rate anyway, and you can't always rely on it to be there while you're leveling. On your first class, if you take your time, it will pretty much always be there, but on subsequent classes, it's just not a reliable thing to do. Now, each of these kills are being worth 170 XP, 150, 170. This next one's going to be worth a little bit more because of the chain bonus that I described in the earlier parts, but that's only because I have the rested XP and I'm getting the huge bonuses out of that. So, level 4, I gained basically a whole level from that, got my next ability. So now, let's quickly take a look at the map. Is there anything we need to be doing? There's a few enemies we need over here. So, what do you say we run over this way? Now, I mentioned in the last part in the dungeon that as a melee, you kind of want to avoid sprinting in combat, but at this point, we don't have a mount. We won't have one still for another few parts in this Let's Play series. So it's okay to use it to get from point A to B. As long as you're not in a dungeon and it's going to debilitate your ability to hold aggro or tank or do damage, then it's okay. You just don't have to worry about it too much in that case. So we're actually already coming up on level 5, which is where we'll get our second quest. Now remember, everything that I taught you in the first part pretty much still holds true in this part as well. And the biggest one being you want to do your class quests every 5 levels. Now, especially because we're not being fed quests that are giving us new and upgraded gear, that is even more important that you make sure that you do those quests every 5 levels, because at this point you might find yourself spending a little bit of extra gil to get some gear as you level up. You just don't have the same resources available to you that you did on your first character with all of those main story quests. So we're gonna actually take a look. There's a town over here. What do you say we take a look and see if there's any quests that are available here? And there's an Aethernet shard there too that I want to grab. One of the biggest things about leveling your 2nd and 3rd and 4th class is that the first few levels, you should really do them in the area or around the city where you unlock them. I see that there's a fate here, so what do you say we activate it? I think this fate's a little bit higher level than I am. I'm only level 4. It's actually recommended for level 7s. So this would actually be a pretty tough one, I imagine. Let's see what level the actual enemies are. The actual enemies themselves are only level 4. And again, I do have Cure on my bar, so I'm not too worried about it, you know? So let's just see how it goes, see if we can get... and we have somebody else here who's... We have a few other people here who are doing the fate, so we should be fine. I don't even have a shield yet at this point. That's how soon it is. I think the very first quest that you do, the one I haven't handed in yet, I'm pretty sure that gives a shield. Let me see. My first... No, it doesn't. So, I was wrong. I see we have a tank here so higher level. Looks like he's got flash already. So he'll probably be the one being able to tank. Now, one thing that I never really had to touch on Conjurer, because you don't have combo abilities on Conjurer, is that whenever I use, you'll see whenever I use the ability on my far right, Fast Blade, that another ability, Savage Blade, lights up. It's got the little dotted line, highlight around it, and that's to let you know that it is part of a combo, or that it just became available to you under some sort of strict circumstance. It's not always for the sake of designating a combo ability, but most common you'll see that's what it is. And it's just to let you know that, hey, if you use this ability next, it'll be enhanced. It'll do more damage, it'll generate more aggro, it could do any of those things. And in this case, Savage Blade will do more damage and it will help you tank easier. It is basically the only 2 abilities you'll have to generate single target aggro until level like 26, and at which point you'll get Rage of Halone, which will just come after Savage Blade. So one of the biggest things you want to do when you're leveling your 2nd class, every fate you see that's around your level, you want to do it if you can get it done in a timely fashion. Now, if you're going to sit there soloing it for the whole 15 minutes and you're not even sure if you'll be able to beat it in time, you will probably want to spend your time elsewhere. But all of this extra EXP, at this point, you're not out leveling the main story or the dungeons or anything. You were just trying to get from whatever level, whether it be 1 to 50 or you just want to take it maybe 1 to 15 in this case, and it just every little bit helps. You cannot understate that at all. Levequest especially, remember when I mentioned that gear is not going to be fed to you anymore like it was? Levequests are going to be pretty essential when it comes to handling that change in pacing, because the amount of gear you're able to get from those things definitely helps. Also, if you were able to pick up any gear like I did in your earlier dungeons, that also helps a lot. Because when you start getting to those dungeons, you don't need to roll on the gear, you already have it. You can focus, again, on getting gear that you can use for your alternate classes. And it also just makes your life easier. It makes it, when you get to those points, you hit breakpoints where you do more damage or you take less damage. It really, really helps to have that gear leveling up. Now, I just got 2 levels from that. I think I went from like almost 5 to all the way into 6. One of the biggest things is that you get a bonus 50% experience points on your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever battle classes, because you have access to the Armory system. And the Armory system detects that I have a class that's a higher level than this current one. My Conjurer is level 18, highest class I have on this character. So at level, up until I hit level 18, I will have a 50% bonus experience to killing enemies and to doing fates. So it's really big. I think leaves may or may not be included. I'll have to check when I hit a high enough level to actually do them. But that's it's a big deal. You want to be making use of all of these different avenues as often as possible. For example, this fate that I'm doing right now. I'm hoping other people show up to do the fate since I just activated it. It looks like some other people are on the way. Because these are the kind of fates that, you know, they can take a little while longer to do if you're on your own. But as soon as a couple of people show up, it goes really, really fast. So I'm just running around collecting these cactus leaves, and I'm going to have to hand these in to an NPC. And once you do that, one little trick that you can do, depending on the fate and depending on if it's going to complete if you do this or not, you don't actually need to be at a fate the entire time to get experience points for it. But that doesn't mean you just want to leave every single fate that you do before it's complete, because you're basically leaving it up to everyone else there to complete it, and there's no guarantee that they are going to complete it. Maybe they'll do the same thing. So you kind of got to go out of your way to make sure that those fates are going to complete in a reasonable amount of time. Because what if you have to leave the zone? What if you die and you have to go back to your home point? That's missed experience points. It's missed gil. And at some point, it'll also be missed Grand Company Seals, another resource we're going to be touching in the very near future. I also unlocked a feature after beating the last dungeon that I just did called the Party Finder. So if you see a pop-up on the screen occasionally, it's because I haven't disabled a certain message that it gives. But it's not a feature that you need leveling up. It can help with a few things. It can definitely help for low-level, you know, just leveling in general. But it's very rare that you'll see low-level players going out of their way to actually use it, or well, not even just use it, whether or not you're making the party or you're one who's, how do I say... it's really simple what I'm trying to say. I'm just, like, my mind's in a bunch of different places right now. Whether or not you're making the party, just low-level people don't use it very often. So I wouldn't consider it a super important thing to know early on. But when you hit 50, it helps a lot using the Party Finder, because it's basically the same thing as the Duty Finder, except that you're reaching out to people on your server and trying to find people with similar goals and needs and make a party in order to complete whatever it is you're trying to do. You could even, one of the most common things you'll probably use it for when we hit around level maybe 25-ish is fate parties. Parties that are dedicated to just doing fates. And I hope this guy goes and hands in all of his things. I hope he understands that it's not completing because he's not handing in his items. He should have enough items at this point to hand in to finish the quest. So I'm hoping he goes and hands it in soon. I'm going to hand in a couple more, and at this point, you know, I'm not going to spend too much more time on this fate. I've already spent 3 minutes that I could have spent elsewhere doing other fates or, you know, doing hunting logs and whatnot. So I'm gonna hand in, normally you'll only hand in like 8 or 9 items here before it completes when there are other people around that are actively doing it. But at this point, I've handed in 18 items. I've almost soloed the whole thing, and that guy is trying to complete it. So I know that when he hands his in, he has more than enough. He'll be able to finish it. So take a look around. Not really many fates in the area. So what do you say we just take a look at our hunting log, see what else we can do in the area. Little Ladybug is one of them. That's over in Western Thanolin, which is not far from here. We'll go there in a little bit. That's also Western Thanolin. Hammerbeaks are right around here. I know I'm level 6 with a level 1 weapon, but I ain't worried about nothing. So we'll be alright. I'm going to kill this thing, and then it's probably best if I go back and do my level 5 Gladiator quest. Get some gear, get a better weapon, get a shield. All those things will definitely come in handy. Because, yeah. Definitely doing all this stuff. I mean, as you can see, it's not that bad, but it's not good. Imagine how much faster it would be if I had a weapon that was actually level 5, you know. That's all you have to think about. And unfortunately, we have no more rested experience. So these hunting logs and the quests are really going to be, outside of fates, all the EXP that we're going to get. Now, the big thing is I want to make sure that that fate that he's doing actually completes before I leave the zone. If he doesn't hand in his items, I'll probably go back and finish it myself, since I finished a few more enemies in my hunting log, you know. But the thing is, he wants to get credit for that fate, and until he hands in the items that he has, he will not get credit for that fate. So if I go and complete it and he never does it, then that's it for him, pretty much. He's just not going to get any credit for it. And, you know, I don't want to do that to him. Luckily, you can try and determine if he's actually trying to complete it. If you go to your map and you actually hover over a fate like this, it'll tell you the percentage it is complete. And it still says 69%, which is exactly where I left it, which tells me he has still not handed it in. He may not know how to finish the quest. I would be very surprised considering he's a level 50 character, and that's something that level 50 characters have had to do from time to time, is those kind of fates. May just not have read it, may not be used to doing fates in this area. Not sure, but I'm hoping that he finishes it soon, because I actually want to leave the area, and I don't want to prevent him from getting experience points. That's the big thing. I just don't want to prevent him from getting experience points because I wanted to finish it. You know? I don't want to be that guy. I just don't want to be him. Now, I got a few more hunting logs I can do in this zone. They're level 8 and 10, it seems, so I don't know that I can really do it. But I got Cure on my bar, so I got faith. I got faith. That's the best way I can think to put it. So, yeah, we got antling workers here. I could probably just... If you ever just want to just kill enemies for chain experience, you can totally do that, by the way. It's not always the best, but it can work out in your favor. So let's go over here, see what level these soldiers actually are. I'm pretty sure these soldiers also aggro. These are sentries. I don't even see soldiers. So the soldiers aren't even here. The soldiers are someplace else. They are in a place called the Clutch. I am not in the Clutch. I think the Clutch might be... Oh, he completed it. Nice. Nice. Wasn't too much experience, but it wasn't bad at the same time. So the Clutch. Probably over this way. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's over this way. There's more antlings over here. There's probably even more antlings as I keep traveling this way. You're going to be running around trying to identify areas if it's your first time really leveling in that section. So that's not too out of the ordinary. I wouldn't worry about it. What are those guys doing up there? I never noticed that. Oh, they're bad guys. Level 6 bad guys. I don't want to mess with the level 6 bad guys. Well, I mean, I don't really care, but whatever. Let's just keep running over this way, find some antling soldiers, find some Spriggan grave robbers. I know where those are. I know the Spriggan grave robbers are. Let's see if yes, antling soldiers. They are level 10. Let's what do you say we take a shot? Let's just try not to fight more than one at a time. Unfortunately, I don't have any ranged abilities on this guy, so I'm just gonna have to run up and then run back with him. Oh, it's good timing. Good timing. Yeah, I can kill him. This is just going to be slow. Like, really slow. And I'm missing a lot. That's always fun. I've missed 3 fast blades in a row. 4 fast blades. Okay, this is officially not worth the effort. This is something we should just probably come back and do another time. Just going to cast a Cure on myself. Yeah, I'm just going to... This is not even worth the effort. So now that fate is complete, let's go back, hand in the quest, do all that fun stuff. I think I can use the Chocobo Keep. I actually don't think I unlocked it. I have those tickets, but I don't really want to just spam those tickets. Hire a Chocobo will die. So this is the first time you're going to see me using a Chocobo Keep, and I recommend it over teleporting when you're not trying to travel long distances. Now, I'm not touching my controller right now. I am just letting the game take me there for me. Now, you can actually get off of this thing at any point. So if you even wanted to use the Choco Keep to go halfway and then get off of it just because that was where your destination was, you can totally do that as well. But this is 15 gil. I think it would have cost me 168 gil if I wanted to teleport from where I just was to where I'm going right now. The big advantage being it would be instant, but it would also cost me over 10 times the amount of gil, unless I made it like a favorite location or my home point or anything along those lines. And you may want to consider changing your home point often. I noticed there's a fate over here on the left, but I don't really want to get off my Chocobo. You can actually dismount your Chocobo under the categories of movement, it says, the active help for dismounting Chocobo. One thing you can do is just click on the Chocobo symbol, which just disappeared because I reached my location, and now we're going to run back to that fate because I couldn't figure out a different way to do it. But if you have a buff on your screen and you click it, then it'll go away. So I just clicked off sprint right there. You can do that with pretty much with most buffs in the game. Some of them you can't do it, but usually it's for your own good when you can't do it. Alright. Let's see what this cowardly challenger wants to do. I think he wants to fight me. Oh no, he wants me to fight her. Alright. I'll fight you. Hopefully either somebody else shows up or this fight isn't too bad. Yeah, whoever was here before, okay, yeah, this is not worth soloing. That's the thing. You got to know if it's not worth soloing, it's not worth soloing. Because that's going to take me ages to do. And it is not going to be worth the time and effort put into it at all. And that just means that the last, group that was there, it was probably a group of 2, 3, 4 people who killed that one last time. And that means that the next time it spawns, it's going to be more powerful. So I just don't want to be a part of that because it's going to take a really long time. And I'm not down for that, man. I'm not down for that. So we're going back to Ul'dah. We're going to pick up the quest. I'm actually going to grab the Aethernet shard right here and use it to teleport over to the Gladiators Guild. Let's do that real quick. Hopefully this is helping you because other than the part where we get to the Levequest, which will come eventually, and you'll see why I like them so much for leveling your secondary classes, they're so good. Like, this is pretty much the best advice you'll get. Just spam fates, do your hunting logs, do your Levequests, and do dungeons when you unlock them if your queues are short enough. That's pretty much the gist of everything you'll want to do. But you can see that these first few levels, they go alright, you know, they're not so bad. It's just, you start getting into, like, the 20s and even midway to, like, even, like, midway into, like, the 10 to 20 area, like, around 15 or 16, it really does start to slow down. So hopefully this is of some help to you, but you'll see just how good the Levequests are when we get there. Now, where is this? Outside of the quicksand. So that's all the way over here. I should have used the Aethernet shard that I took. I should have literally just teleported back to the same Aethernet shard that I was at. But I thought I knew where the quest was, and I was wrong. So that's my bad. That's by the Pugilist Guild here on the right. We have a Clothier right here, who if I wanted to, I think you can buy gear from that person. They sell other stuff as well. But I'm pretty sure you can buy gear from them. So we're going to go over here. Now, this one is one of those quests that wants you to use emotes on the guys. And it's just like, ugh. I despise these quests just because I don't like the quests that involve you. Sometimes they're funny. If you actually read the text most of the time, they're pretty funny. I just don't care all that much. I just want to kill some stuff, man. I'm not getting experience points. Oh, I'm not getting experience points on a per emote basis. If I was getting experience points on a per emote basis, it would matter a little bit more to me. But you know what? It's what I got to do to get to level 5, the level 5 class quest, to get my new sword, to get my shield, to get a body piece, which is going to be the one that I end up selecting. I got to do it. I don't have a choice. I got to do what I got to do. Don't we all, right? So that's 2 down. It's actually, the thing I don't like about these quests is not that they involve emotes. I could care less about that. It's that when you do it, it always takes so long for the characters to just leave. Like, look at this guy. Like, he didn't even say anything for like the past 20 seconds and he just would not leave. So it seems like we're still missing one more guy. I'm trying to remember where he is. He's either over here a little bit more, or he's the other way a little bit more. Oh, there he is. Found him. I wonder if I have anything to do after this. Or if this is literally like the whole quest. I'm going to take that Aethernet shard right next to me. I'm assuming that'll take me right back to the Gladiators Guild. Let's see what they want me to do, actually. They want me to go tell... Okay, no. Okay, I know what I got to do. Let's go in here. We got to tell one more Marauder inside to face me. Face me. Face me, Pafarmal. Why won't you face me, Pafarmal? Or Pafarmerl. Merle. Alright, we got a cutscene that we're going to skip. And then... speak with Momodi, right over here. Might have another little bit to just skip through. Report to Mila. That is back at the... Where is that? I'm pretty sure that's back at... Yeah, that's back at the guild. Alright, so let's go there. Let us go there. Nope, that's not the right way. That is not the right way. It's funny, you'd think that I would get lost doing this, because I have a character that's level 50, and I've done all this before. But it's so very rare that I come to Ul'dah on my character, that sometimes I get a little bit lost going through this place. A lot of winding passageways and hallways and all that stuff, so it happens. What are you going to do? See? Level 1 quests that I kind of ignored. Because they just give Gil. One of them actually gives grade 1 dark matter, which is good if you have leveled some crafting classes, just because it'll help you with repairing. It'll reduce the cost of repairing by a substantial amount. It's just, on a personal level, I just don't... I'm not going to get into crafting and gathering yet, so it wasn't worth my time or effort to use that to really go out of my way and level. So we need to go over to Western Thanalin, which is right here, thankfully. We have more of those hunting log enemies we can kill here, so that's perfect that the quest will actually wants to take us here. Hopefully I can get to level 15 on my Gladiator very, very quickly, because I will, you know, I'm actually leveling more at my pace here than I was in the entirety of all of the Conjurer videos that I've done before. The only problem, I guess, really being that what am I trying to say here? The only real problem being that I'm taking a little bit more time because I have the controller, which I'm not used to still, and I have to kind of explain things and slow down a little bit to explain things and why I do certain things a certain way. So here we go. We're going to run down here. I'm pretty sure there's some cactars. There they are. Get some more of the hunting logs done. All these, I mean, these hunting logs right now are not worth as much. Like, that one was worth 75 because it was only a level 1 hunting log. These ones are not going to be worth too much more because, actually, it was only worth, yeah, it was only worth 75. These are not going to be worth too much more because it's a level 3 hunting log. I also have, like, no TP because of the sprint that I did earlier. Perfect example of why you don't just sprint and then run over and hit an enemy. Because most of the time you won't have TP to actually kill them. Perfect example of why you don't usually do that from the last video. Alright, those cactars, got those out of the way. That one was worth a little bit more. That one was worth like 360. That's not bad. Got some earth sprites around here somewhere, I know. I think they're a little bit more that way, but we have this quest right here. Now, again, let's take a look real quick. See if any of these quests are going to give me some worthwhile experience points. If they're going to give me, that's level 4. Yeah, it's 500 XP. That's not so bad. Let's see, what about this guy? Does any of them give me gear? This one gives me 560. That one seems a little bit more worth doing. I will help you. There it is. There's the quest right there. 560. That's pretty good. We'll do that. And we have this guy over here, the nervous merchant. I'm not even going to grab that other quest. Not yet, at least. They tore me from my saddle, everything I own. And we also have the leave mates. Do you have level 5 or do you just go straight to level 10 leaves? He has level 5 leaves. Nice. So that would actually be very, very good for us to level. Is there anything I have to do? Examine Slugger and slay any parasites you may need. Oh, wait. Didn't I already accept a quest from you? Did you have 2 quests? Where? Oh, that's the quest to unlock the housing area that we're not going to do because I already explained that in an earlier part why we're not going to bother with that. Because at a low level, unless you join a free company that has a house and you go there frequently, there's just not much for you to gain by going there. Okay, I guess speak with Slugger. Slugger, what's going on, man? Speak with Eam. Oh, that was the quest I just accepted from you. Okay, I still have to do the other quest. Alright, that quest out of the way. Got level 7 off that. Nice. Got a little bit of gil out of it. See, it's just these little things. It's all just making use of the little things. The little things that just push you that extra little bit. I could probably get this character to 15 tonight. I have a podcast at the night of this recording, so I probably won't really be able to get it to 15. I could otherwise. I may after that get the class to 15 and record the dungeon video, since that's a video that I absolutely need to do. Low level tanking, and then as we get into the higher levels, of course I'm going to be going out of my way to do those as well. It's just a really important lesson that, you know, new or even if you're not new to the game, if you're new to tanking and there's those little things you've just never paid attention to, it's useful, and I'm glad that people suggested it. And I am reading the comments, as many comments as I can in my spare time, and taking people's recommendations and things that I should look at to doing in the future, especially when we get to some of the more difficult dungeons, the first few dungeons that tanks and healers really have to be sure to be on top of their game with. I am paying attention. People are requesting some crafting and some gathering, a little bit of both, because they want to have those avenues open to making money early in the game, especially before you hit level 50, when you're going to be bombarded with all of these different things that you're going to have to do at those levels. Murderous Marauder, huh? Still using this level 1 sword. Don't worry, I'll be completing the quest soon. Now, I'm colorblind. I had a really hard time seeing that AoE field right there. You know what? Honestly, I just enjoy doing these videos for you guys. Looks like a hunt is up. I'm not going to go anywhere near it. Not right now, at the very least. But, I don't know if that's an A rank or an S rank. I don't think it's an... where is it? I'll go check it out. Where did it spawn? I'm just scrolling through. It spawned... No! We are not going all the way over. Where it spawned is level 50 area. So, you know how that first hunt that I showed you guys, Fornius? You know how he was in an area where kind of like low levels were hanging around fighting? Yeah, they can spawn in those areas, but they can also spawn in the level 50 areas. So we're gonna avoid that because I am not gonna be able to live long enough to do anything there. Trust me, it's not gonna be pretty if I try to go up that way. Well, it would be a nice way to show you what happens if you wander too far from the beaten path when you're not a high enough level, because you will you'll die. Yeah, that's just what's gonna happen. You know, I don't write the rules. I'm just saying, you go and die. That's just what's gonna happen. Let's go back to this guy. Damn, this quest is pretty long. I didn't expect this to be this long. Return the goods to the merchant. Wait, am I even doing the same quest anymore? Yes, I am. I had to wonder, wait a minute, is this even the right quest? What was I even here for in the first place? I'm here for the Gladiator quest, guys, don't worry. Good old Happy isn't losing his mind just yet. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. Where are all these earth sprites? There they are. I see them in the distance. I see them. There is an aetherite I could grab over there. I'm going to come back and grab it at a later point because the main story is actually going to take me here next. After I do, the next dungeon I do is going to be near Gridania, but the final, like, of the first 3 dungeons that you do is going to be pretty much, like, right in the zone. It's going to be in Copperbell Mines. So I am going to have to come back here at some point. I'll grab the Aethernet. Excuse me, I'm stretching when I do that right there. Alright, yeah, these level 7 Earth Sprites are going to take a while to kill with this level 1 weapon. Don't worry, we only need to kill 1 more. And I'm missing Fast Blades again. That's always fun to miss Fast Blades. Now, actually, you know what? I could show that tip in a later dungeon. Enemies that do spellcast, it's actually possible to avoid the spellcast, but I'm not actually used to doing it on a Rogadin, and I did it right there, but it's still kind of weird for me to do. If an enemy is casting a spell on you, some of them, if you pass through them at the right time, you'll actually be able to avoid the spell entirely. And I'll show you that on some of the later bosses, especially when we get to like Hawk Manor. There's bosses there that if you learn that trick, it makes the boss a million times. Like your healer literally doesn't have to do anything if you know about that trick by the time you get to Hawk Manor hard mode. I'm really looking forward to showing you guys those little tips and tricks. And you can do it on other enemies that have much faster cast times, but you really got to make an active effort to do it. And it's not something that most of the time is even worth doing unless you find yourself very, very close to death for whatever reason. So we're going to run back, hand in this Gladiator's quest, and I think that's where I am going to cut the video for now. I may make a part 2 of this leveling secondary classes, call it part 2 with Levequests, to show you guys what kind of speed you can expect if you're doing it with Levequests. Obviously, again, at the lower levels, it'll be faster than when you do it at the higher levels, but it still shows you guys the ability to get gear and get items and make a little bit of money and use those allowances that, unless you're using them on crafting and gathering, are just sitting there accumulating. In fact, in all this time, I have 49 allowances now. All the time since I unlocked them in the earlier video. So I actually don't get a shield. So I'm just gonna go with the body piece instead. Don't worry, we don't need a shield. What do we need a shield for? As you can see, I am actually capable of equipping the intelligence gear, and I hate to say it, but it does have higher defense. So let's. Oh my god, I just want those yellow mitts. That's all that matters to me. Look at that. Look at my yellow oven mitts. I love it. I think it's pretty fun. So I'm actually gonna cut this first video part here, leveling secondary classes, part 1. You've seen fates, you've seen do your hunting logs, you've seen most of the important stuff, but leaves is the big one. So I can't wait to show you guys that. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check out all the previous parts if you haven't yet, and if you have been watching them, thanks for watching them. Until next time, guys, I'll see you guys in the next part. Take care.